Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith, and today is Tuesday, June 14th, 2022, and I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts from California. Please welcome back Sonny Conway and Spooky Morales.
What's up, boys? Good morning.
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Oh, still trying to wake up. What are you guys doing this morning?
I was actually doing the same thing. I came home and started crashing out. I had to make some more coffee. Jumpstart the system again. But this is the last week on Midnights, as everyone knows, so I'll be joining the good crew on afternoons next week.
Oh, awesome.
So just this one last week, we got to get through these crazy sleep patterns I'm on.
Is that going to make the morning show easier or harder for you?
Not sure, man. I'm not sure. We're going to figure it out. I'm going to be waking up right before the show instead of winding down before the show, so maybe I'll be more lively and alert.
Yeah, don't get too tired.
We'll just have to see what happens. Real quick, I'm going to run down everybody that's in the chat. We got Jake Smith listening from work. How's it going, man? Hope you're having a great day so far. We got Sam from Arden Paranormal. How's it going, Sam? Oracles and Beyond. Cassie is up and alert early this morning. Good morning, Cassie. Good to see you in here. And thank you for today's guest. Williams Carnundrum, good to see you. Saw you earlier this morning in Amy's chat, so awesome to see you in here this morning. We got Jamie's awake from that one time I was abducted by aliens. Good to see you this morning, Jamie. Jeanette Sanchez, always great to see you here. Good morning. Sweetly Morbid Bear, great to see you here also. And we got Roach in the chat room from the I Believe podcast. Good morning, sir. K-Man847, good to see you as well. And I'd like to also give a shout out to our members. Thank you, everybody that's contributing to the Buy Me a Coffee. We do have two different tiers, a $5 a month tier for a shout out and a sticker, $10 tier for a shout out, a sticker, and a private invite to a Paranormal Chop Shop after party. So make sure you check that out at buymeacoffee.com/ChadSmithPC. Appreciate your support there, guys. And I think that's it for the notes. And we have a guest today, Sonny and Spooky.
What?
We do.
Yeah. It's not just us getting on here talking about UFOs. We actually have a guest we can talk to today. So, Shetan Noir is backstage. She is a cryptozoologist researcher. She's spent 25 years researching the paranormal and the cryptozoology field. I'm going to get that right one of these days. Her fascination with lake monsters began in an early age when she first learned about the Lock Ness monster, and then hearing reports of lake monsters in her own state of Michigan. Her research has since grown to include Michigan's own Dogman and Nain Rouge, Bigfoot, and ghost hunting. Shetan is also the lead investigator for the Michigan chapter of the North American Dogman Project.
Whoa.
And also runs the paranormal investigation team of Michigan Center for Unexplained Events and Phenomenon. So please join me in welcoming for the first time, Shetan Noir.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's nice to meet you.
It's great to see you.
I'm in Michigan. You guys are, I know Chad's from Michigan. Everybody else is from California. Cool mix.
What was that? What was the question?
I said it's a cool mix.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's an awesome mix. Yep, you get the west and the east side.
Kinda. We're trying to get Chad to move to Cali. He's trying to get us to move to Michigan.
I'm trying to get them to move back over here.
I tell him it's too cold there, and he tells me it's too hot here.
No, it's not too hot.
At least we have water. They don't have water over there in California. You know that?
Ooh.
We got a whole ocean. We got the biggest ocean on the planet.
See, I'm a fan of like 70-degree weather and not much warmer. So Michigan is perfect.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for the most part, except for this week, it's supposed to be really hot, unfortunately.
Tomorrow, well, like here, it's not too bad. I'm middle of the state, so it's kind of cool right now. We're not supposed to hit 80 degrees till later this afternoon, but tomorrow's supposed to be 95. So I'm thinking probably being in my car in the AC, driving quite a bit.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Once it gets above 90, I'm like, I kind of hibernate, but
yeah,
I hibernate from the heat instead of the cold. But this winter was kind of long. I've had a few different times where I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done with the cold. Just bring on the heat. I know I hate the heat, but just bring it on. Getting in the car with your fingers all froze up. It gets old real quick.
but at least we're not Minnesota, who had like a sixth winter this year. Like they had snowstorms into May. So
yeah, they just kept getting it. Yep, over and over for sure.
All the Bigfoot researchers up there were like, no, not again. It's like, well, we have flowers.
But you go out and hunt Bigfoot, right?
I do go. I do field research for both Bigfoot, Dogman, and lake monsters.
Would you prefer to do that kind of hunting in the snow? I know I deer hunt and stuff like that. I wait for it to snow here, and then everyone does, and then that's when we want to go hunting. It's much easier,
I usually don't go out in the cold months for it, just because I don't ice and snow. I'm not that good on slippery stuff. I do a lot of hiking spring through fall, and that's primarily when I'm looking for stuff. Actually, I had an interesting adventure, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Went up to Menominee, Michigan for the Bigfoot conference, and there's this nice little rest stop that you can stop at right there on the shores of Lake Michigan, and they have a little boardwalk that takes you down to the beach. And I got there early in the morning, and I had my little 7-pound dog with me, and I'm walking her along the lake shore, trying to get her to do her business, and I came across these huge tracks. Very canine looking, but I put my foot next to one and I took a picture of it. And then when I got to the conference, I was showing like Ken Gearhart and Barnaby Jones and Jay Buchanan and the other cryptozoologist people up there. I'm like, so what do we think this is? I'm like, because this dog track, if it's a wolf, is like 3/4 the size of my foot. And I'm a size 11 woman's foot, shoe. So I'm like, this paw print is it, and it was a narrower paw print, but very long. So it was more, if you're familiar with the anatomy of dog or canine feet, instead of being a cat paw, it was what they call a hare foot, where it's a little bit longer, which to me says wolf. But if there's a wolf that is coming that close to
our wolves if they're big, they make a big fat footprint. They make it wide.
So it was quite interesting. So I was like, I'm like taking pictures of it. I'm like, yeah, this is not, what I'm expecting to find. I'm only 200 feet from the rest area, like the building of the rest area, the parking lot. For a wolf to be coming in that close to where humans are, and cars especially are coming in and out of, I'm like, that was a pretty brave wolf.
Yeah, because bears, bobcats, deer, all that stuff will go 200 feet within a human, but a wolf does not. A wolf, that's one thing I've never seen while I've been hunting. Like out in them, I've seen everything else: mountain lions and bobcats and bears, and they'll cross my paths. They'll never a wolf. They're way too smart.
Yeah, so it was. You never know when you're going to come across tracks or evidence or have an experience. So it was just like, well, I'm glad whatever made these footprints is not here anymore. It's gone.
Because it's so weird that you say you found these long, skinny, narrow footprints. Chad, you know that picture that we just seen of that animal that's outside the enclosure habitation somewhere.
The fence?
At the Amarillo Zoo, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
That
been making
seems
the rounds.
like
I've
that
seen
would
it.
make a long, narrow wolf type footprint to me. The way
Mhm.
it looks. Yeah.
So now, Ken Gearhart posted that picture, and Doug Hychek, who produced the Monster Quest series, had commented on it, and they think that it's fake fur and it's somebody who is hoaxing, because apparently fake fur. There's some tests that you can do on it with black and white, photography, that you can tell if it's fake. So a lot of people are thinking this is somebody in a furry costume that was just trying to pull a hoax. Um,
It sure looks like I don't know. It looks almost too skinny. Like the legs do look like the legs of a dog or some type of canine creature.
That's what we compared it to too. If we said if it was a human or it kind of looked human, it was more like a skinwalker to us. That's what it looked like to us.
But then we brought the fact up that it could be a skinwalker, and we had Matt from Second Star Survival on, and he was under the impression that skinwalkers were not bipedal.
no, skinwalker. So a skinwalker is a Native American shaman who has gone dark or practices the dark magics. And whatever animal skin or pelt they possess is the animal's appearance that they can take on. So they can very much be bipedal. They can be on all fours. Depends on what they are hoping to accomplish with
Shapeshifter.
with doing that.
That's the same thing, I think.
Shapeshifter is the same thing.
Skinwalker. I think. I'm not 100% for sure.
A shapeshifter is a little bit different. We certainly know that the skinwalkers are Native American shamans, and they are usually associated in the Utah basin with the Native American tribes there, the Navajo and the Ute tribes.
Sorry, I just saw that your link isn't working in the chat, but I'm going to put your actual link for your website, your Wix site. I think I had the wrong one copied for some reason, but I just want to make sure that everybody is going to the right website for her books, because we'll get into that too, because you have a couple books out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that.
And I also own Squatch GQ magazine publishing company.
Oh, sweet. I did not see that in my research.
What was it called?
Squatch GQ magazine company. I did not name the company. I got it from the former owner. So I keep the Squatch GQ title just because it's historic, nostalgia. But
that's a good name.
We've got there's a couple different magazines underneath the company. Squatch GQ is a little bit more lighthearted cryptozoology. For younger readers, people who don't really want to get too overloaded with information, then there's Cryptozoology Digest, which is more analytical, scientific, looks more at evidence. We did have a paranormal magazine called G Hunter, but I'm changing the name to Into the Liminal Abyss Paranormal Magazine, and it will cover the paranormal, ufology, high strangeness. And then I have two other magazines. One is called Dinosauria and Prehistoric Creatures, and it's all about dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures. The current issue is about ancient sharks, and people are loving it. And then I am developing one on rock hounding and prospecting.
Oh, that's good stuff too.
Yeah, all the topics and stuff that I love, to research and go explore and investigate, and developing a magazine on weird travels also. Interesting, weird little destinations that you can go to that I personally or people that I trust have gone to, and give you their firsthand account of what to expect, and so that you know that it's a safe location to go to.
Mm-hmm. That is a lot of content that you put out. That's so cool.
Well, I put out each magazine is quarterly, so comes out 4 times a year. So yeah, in between writing for the magazines, doing podcasts, doing live presentations at libraries, and doing Paracons, I the rest of the time I sleep, take care of my dogs, and do some crafting for vending at the different events. So
Awesome.
In all your investigations, what have you seen or taken pictures with your own eyes?
so with my own eyes, I had my own Bigfoot encounter, um, and it was um, early in the morning. I was leaving. My mom works at the North American Bear Center most of the year. She's the black bear curator up there. So I had gone up to visit her, and it was coming home. It was like the first part of November, because going up, it was like the deer were literally like waiting to commit suicide. Like they were just standing on the sides of the road waiting to run out in front of vehicles. And so I got behind. I had a Jeep Wrangler Sport, canvas top, soft top. And I just got behind semi trucks and was like, well, if the deer are stupid, they'll run out in front of the semi truck, get hit. So there was plenty of food sources along the side of the road, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so when I left, I wanted to get home because there was a snowstorm coming in, and really didn't want to take my Jeep Wrangler Sport through a snowstorm. So I left her house. It was about 3:30 in the morning when I left her house, and as I'm taking the 2-track highway from Ely, Minnesota, to get onto the 4-track that is near Virginia, as I'm approaching the on-ramp, my headlights with my Jeep, and the Jeep Wrangler has a very, specific front to it. They don't change the style year to year. You can use it as a basic measurement. So what I saw was headlight, thick, shaggy, brownie colored hair on a leg, tall grass, thick, shaggy furred, brownie colored hair on the leg, headlight. Wherever the head and chest of this animal was higher than my head in the Jeep.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Now, being early November, I can rule out black bear. They are already in hibernation. And they do not have moose in that area. And moose have a very fine, velvety finish to their legs. So it wasn't a moose. It wasn't a black bear. And I got a good 15 seconds of looking at this creature as I'm going up the on-ramp. And then I got up on the expressway and I stopped. And I was like, did I just see what I think I saw? And I'm debating with myself, and I'm like, yeah, I know what I just saw. So then I'm trying to decide, do I want to go cut across the median, go back down the other exit, come back around and try to get pictures of it? And as I'm thinking of this, part of me is like, yeah, do that. And at that time, this was back before the smartphones came out. So I just had one of those little flip phones that had the camera on it, which took, for its time, it took a good picture, but I don't think it would have done anything impressive. But then the other part of me is like, so you already passed the Bigfoot. Now you're going to go back down and around and probably aggravate it. So what's the explanation going to be when it flips your Jeep over and you have to make that phone call to your mom? Hey, could you send a tow truck from Virginia? Just, have to flip me back over. People are, they're not going to understand that explanation. My mom would, because she'd be like, oh my God, you were chasing a Bigfoot. So yeah, for Bigfoot, that is my sighting of one. And I still remember how the lights from my headlights reflected off of the texture of the hair and the color of the hair. And the reason I say it was brownie color was it wasn't quite black, but it wasn't quite dark brown. It had a reddish cast to it, like a pan of brownies would have. And so it was, and to me, that's an animal that's been out in the elements. It's been out in the sun. It's been out in the weather. because that has tinted the fur on its body. And you'll see dogs, long-coated dogs, black-coated dogs that have been outside year-round. You will see that their black is almost sunburnt. And that's what I saw with this, Bigfoot that I saw. Now, for paranormal, I've got a bunch of experiences with paranormal.
Yeah. I was just gonna add to your credibility because you said that your mom works at the North American
Bear Center.
The Bear Center, yeah. So she's an expert, and you said that she's like a black bear.
She's the black bear curator. She's in charge of 4 adult black bears that are there at the center.
Oh, cool.
And where she lives in Ely, pretty much as soon as the bears come out of hibernation, they're at her house. Hanging out, looking for, food to eat, not really causing too much mischief, but the moms come in with their babies and some big males come in. So I personally have sat 10 feet away from mom and cubs and observed them and taken pictures of them. So
that's cool.
The black bears are not as vicious and ferocious as people make them out to be. My 7-pound min pin can chase off a black bear, and has done so with glee. Black bears are very flighty. They you can spook them very easily and chase them off.
I bet that first time that min pin chased off the black bear, he was like, "Wait, that worked."
No, actually, she is for a long time. She's been my hiking companion, and this dog will take on a 6'5" human being, no questions asked. So a bear, it was she just didn't care. I was up at my mom's house, and we had gotten in early that morning. It was like, I want to say 5 in the morning. So we had just gone into the house, gone to sleep. And that morning, it was still relatively early, like 7 o'clock. I had gotten up, put her on her harness and her hiking lead, and gone out to the car to get my belongings. And knowing that there was bear in the area, but it didn't really register. So I had opened up my driver's side door, and I had left some chocolate chip cookies from the gas station bakery from the night before. So I just grabbed a chocolate chip cookie and had stuck it in my mouth and was grabbing my bag. And then I realized, I have to feed my min pin. So I was like, I'll just put her food on the front seat so she can eat it while I'm getting something out of the back. So I had popped the back hatch. I had at this time I have a Ford Escape, a newer model, 2016. So I had popped the back hatch, and I was getting stuff out of the back of my car, and I hear the oomph behind me. And I'm like, there's a black bear behind me. So I shut down my hatch, and sure enough, there is a young adult about 15 feet behind me. Now I'm also holding on to my dog's 15-foot hiking leash. Like I said, she's 7 pounds. Tegan, come here. Let everybody see how little and tiny and cute you is. So she's very tiny, but full. We call her 7 pounds of fury.
Yeah.
And so she had heard the oomph too, and then the bear proceeded to do it a second time, and this little dog came flying past me. Luckily, I was holding on to the leash, and hit the end of her lead and proceeded to tell the black bear off, using whatever language of min-pin she was using. And the black bear's reaction was to totally panic, turn around, jump over a woodline barrier, and dash into the woods. And that was that. And then my little min-pin is kicking her feet like, I told you.
Exactly.
Now, before that, because I do a lot of travel writing and I travel quite a bit. So we had gone to the Wildcat Sanctuary down in Indiana, and I had her in her travel bag as we were walking around doing the tour. The very last enclosure is a very old male lion who does not like men. and there was a gentleman right up in his face taking pictures of him. So he made that big booming roar, and was defending himself. And out of nowhere, my min pin decided she was going to answer him. So here comes back this low growl and this bark, bark. And I don't know what she said to the lion, but the lion's ears went back and its eyes got wide, and he got up and he went chuffing. Chuffing is a huffing sound that they make when they're particularly upset. And he goes off to the back of his enclosure chuffing about it, like, how dare you speak to me like that? And of course, I don't think she knew that the reaction that she had given him. But so yeah, she's small, but she's mighty.
Fierce, yeah. That's so interesting, and how different animals, especially the size difference. Like, I wonder if it's just because they've never seen anything like that out in the wild, so they just don't know what to do with it at first.
Yeah, she, because she was the aggressor in the instance, and charged, if I hadn't been holding on to her, she would have chased it into the woods. She hit the end of her lead and was growling and snarling and everything, and my mom just casually walks, out of the garage. Everything okay? And here I am. I still have the chocolate chip cookie in my mouth. My min pin's on the end of her lead, like, ready to tear, chunks out of the bear. And I'm like, yeah, everything's good. we're gonna finish breakfast and go back to bed.
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Everything's fine. Yep.
Dogs can learn.
She's been, she goes everywhere with me. So she goes to Paracons. I bring her 2 children with me now, which are poodle min pin mixes, who are so sweet, but will stand their ground too. They go hiking with me also. But I've had a lot of paranormal experiences with this dog, and one was because of her that I had the experience. And it was actually on that same trip. We had stopped, and Chad will know this, we had stopped at Mackinac City, which is the outpost for Mackinac Island. And that is where you fuel up on fudge and saltwater taffy and pasties if you have a cooler. Pasties are like pot pies, but in a handheld form. We like them with like gravy and mashed potatoes. They're awesome. So I had her with me at the time because I was taking my mom back up to Ely, Minnesota, and I had gone into the one public restroom and had her with me, and nothing was out of the ordinary. We got back on the road, we left and got on the road. So fast forward a couple months later, I'm headed home after Michigan Paracon, which is up in the Sault Ste. Marie, which is a huge paranormal convention. And I stop in Sault Ste. Marie to get my family fudge and saltwater taffy and, of course, pasties, because those make a really good meal. And so I don't have her with me, and I go into the public bathroom once again. I go into the same stall. And just as I'm about to leave the stall, a voice as clear as day says, "What, no puppy this time?" Now, it had been, June was when I was there, and now this is early September or late August. I think it was late August that year. So it had been a couple of months and probably a couple 100,000 tourists since I had been there. And something had remembered and recognized me and knew that the little dog wasn't with me. And so I hear this voice ask this, and I'm like, no, she's at home. And then I realize there's nobody else in this public bathroom. I even check all the other stalls. There's nobody in there. There's not even anybody outside the entrance. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of distinct because I have teal hair and I wear all teal clothing. But still, for something to remember that I had a dog with me back in June, and now in August I don't have the dog, that's really interesting. So I was telling Todd Clemens, who runs the paranormal ghost tours up on Mackinac Island, this. He's like, well, it could have been the ghost from here or the ghost from there. I'm like, Todd, that's not the point. It remembered me. That's the weird point.
That is strange. So do you think that that's something common that happens a lot? Or do you...
I do not know, because nobody has ever come up to me after I've told the story, a couple of times and said, you know what, I had the same thing happen to me. So it was really interesting. So either the ghost really likes dogs and it was just thrilled that I had this little dog with me on the first, stop, and then was disappointed on the second stop. Mm-hmm. Or it, is a very intelligent haunt and recognizes people.
That is interesting. But you said you've never had somebody else express to you that they've had the same experience?
Not from the Mackinac City, public bathroom, which is, of all places to have a interesting, experience. Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew more about the history of that area, because I should, since it's the state I live in. But there's a fort up there, right?
There is Fort Mackinac, Millinac. They change it every once in a while. And according to Todd, there are ghosts that are in the city of Mackinac, and that do haunt different locations. He said it could have been one of those. But it was just, I didn't see any apparitions. All I heard was the voice.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to learn more about that area, because I know since the fort is there, I want to say it was called like Fort Michilimackinac or something like that. It had some crazy name to it, and trying to read that on a sign as a kid was insane. But
it's had 4 name changes. I think since I was, a kid. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to learn more about that, since it's right here in my home state, and I'm sure there was a battle that happened up there, and that would explain a lot of the paranormal activity that happens up there on the island, especially. Did you visit the island, specifically the hotel there?
I have not been to the island since I was a young child, probably 10 or so. Mm-hmm. And every summer I'm like, oh, I should, as I'm crossing into the UP or coming back, I should just do a day trip to Mackinac Island and, check out the ghost tour and say, hello to my friends. And, but it's like, it seems like every time I do it, I'm either in a hurry to get, back home for some reason, or the weather's bad. Because a couple of years ago, I was doing travel stories through the UP, and one of my destinations was Keweenaw Peninsula, and I had my little dog with me, and for some weird reason, all day long, now my day started as soon as the sun came up, because I wanted to get pictures of the sun coming up there in the shoreline area of Lake Superior. And so I was making my way around to different areas, and I had this weird feeling all day long that I needed to get out of there. But I still had stops to make around the Keweenaw Peninsula. So as daybreak, came, the water was very gently lapping up on shore, and I had stopped at a local bakery and gotten some baked goods, and stopped at one of the little, side, shoreline side parks, and did some exploring, rock hounding with, my little min pin as we ate breakfast. And then as I was making my way the rest of the way around Keweenaw Peninsula, the waves were becoming more ominous. And as I was working my way down to the copper mine, the waves were they had gone from nothing to now they were 15 inches and a white cap on them. So I was like, yeah, so by now it's raining, and the drizzling rain is getting heavier and heavier. And I get to the copper mine, and the people are like, well, we can take you on the tour, but we don't really recommend it because of the rain and everything. I said, I come through the UP all the time. We can reschedule this. So I get on my way, and I get down into the rest of the UP. And I'm in Munson, and that's when I stopped at a welcome center, and they said, "Oh, we're getting hit by a major storm." Well, the Keweenaw Peninsula area got hit by so much water that the ground floor level of MIT, Michigan Institute of Technology, that's how high the water went up.
Jeez.
All the roads were washing out, and so and then the storm just kind of followed me as I went across, and I was like, nope, not going to Mackinac Island yet. So
yeah,
headed back home.
not worth the risk. Especially if you go over there, you want to spend the whole day there. You don't want to go over there and get trapped.
You want relative, so for those not familiar, Mackinac Island is usually about 15 degrees cooler than what it is on the mainland because of all the wind off of the lakes. So if you're going on the island, you want at least a nice day. And if it's rainy and cold and 70 degrees on land, then it's going to be about 55 degrees on the island and rainy and windy. So it's not that great of a experience.
And there's no gas engines. So if you need to get somewhere fast,
you're walking
or running,
or finding a horse.
That's right. No engines allowed on the island, but you're allowed to bring a bicycle.
Right.
Yeah, now you're talking to me. You're like a travel agent now. I just want to go up to Mackinac Island. I'll see you guys later.
It's worth it to go check it out.
Yeah, it's a great time. Except you have to go up there with a deficiency of sugar because when you leave there, you're going to be full of it. That's all they do is make fudge up there. Fudge and toffee. Toffee? That sounded weird when I said it.
Taffy. Saltwater taffy, yeah.
God. I need more coffee with my toffee. I know that didn't sound right. That was weird. Okay,
so far, sorry to interrupt. So far, I've heard chocolate chip cookies and bears, which I love both of them.
We love food in Michigan.
I love me some bears.
Go up to Ely, Minnesota. Then they have the North American Black Bear Center. It is a very large facility. They have it's founded by Dr. Lynn Rogers, who is one of the best black bear biologists and researchers. He was actually a consult for Monster Quest on the different hair samples that they would collect. So it is very educational, very informative. And the cool thing is they put the black bears get let out into the big enclosure several times a day at different points. They'll let different black bears out and bring other bears in. But there's four. There's Ted, there's Lucky, there's Holly, and Tasha. Ted's one of the biggest bears in the country. He, I believe, is about 800 pounds. He's a really sweet old bear. But they have tons of different informational displays in there. And one of the cool things is you can either do a behind the scenes and walk out to the bear enclosures and see the bears there, or you can just you can sit indoors. And they have a huge glass windowed area that showcases the bear enclosure. So you can watch the bears out there doing, what they do best, and that's eating and just lounging about. Lucky is usually the most entertaining. He likes to play with the wood. He'll get big logs and swing them around and throw them. Definitely, if you like black bears, that is a good location.
I like all bears.
Really, they have the International Wolf Center with live wolves there. So
sweet.
If you're into wildlife, definitely check out those two places.
Bears and wolves.
Our friend Bobby just posted a picture of a brown bear that she saw when she was on a drive, and it was so cool to see it. Just out there running in the wild.
She posted on Facebook.
But I sure hope it got away safe.
Where'd she post it, Spooky?
It was on Facebook a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Shetan, you said that you began your whole interest in all this began with the Loch Ness Monster?
So,
Whoa, Nessie.
yes.
From her.
How long
But I'll
ago
back
was...
that up a bit. So my interest with cryptozoology and because we didn't really call it cryptozoology at that time, it was at basic it was called New Age, and kind of an offshoot of the paranormal. But so here in Michigan, a lot of middle class families we go camping for our summer vacation. And so we had every weekend we would go camping. And this particular summer when I was 10 or 9 or 10, the campground was Crystal Lake here in Michigan, and had a beautiful clear crystal lake. But there was a very odd thing about this campground, and that was they had a 6-foot alligator in a dog kennel. A living, breathing, will bite your fingers off alligator in a dog kennel with a little cement pond. So as a child, I was like, yeah, they pulled that out of like, I'm not going fishing, which really aggravated my dad because that was one of the few things you could do there was go fishing. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. You could see clear to the bottom of the lake. And I was like, nope. I know that there's alligators in this lake. Could not convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
But one of the Saturdays that we were camping there, the campground decided that for family movie night, it would be a wonderful experience to show the Patterson-Gimlin film and The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say they played Lake Placid.
Yeah.
Oh, no. This was way before that time. So 9-year-old child watching Bigfoot walk through the woods or reach into people's houses and try to grab them. Yeah, that did it. I spent the next half an hour, 45 minutes in the women's bathroom hiding till two very nice older women were able to coax me out and were like, we'll walk you back to your camper. And it was like, then I was like, nope, I'm not going out. Nope. So after that, it was I got a yearly subscription to Fate magazine, and going to the library, research, getting the different books, going to the bookstore, getting different books on the monsters. Which at that time you'd get books, and the three things that they would focus on was Bigfoot, Loch Ness, aliens, and the paranormal.
Perfect. That's everything we're into.
Yep.
Excellent.
And how old were you then?
That summer, I believe I was 9 or 10.
9 or 10.
So, kind of sent me on my journey. Made an impact on me, knowing that these creatures were out there, and nobody was really talking about them.
Yeah, what did you think about it at that time? Why did you think all the adults and people that should know stuff, they weren't talking about this kind of thing?
Probably because they didn't want to scare children.
Yeah.
And because I know that the reaction that I had, I was definitely not coming out of that bathroom stall because, Bigfoot could run out of the woods, grab you, snatch you, and you'd be gone. And it was like, nope. Because if they have them in the forest in California, they probably have them in the forest in Michigan. And now as a researcher, I know that's true. Bigfoot's, anywhere that they have food, water, and shelter, they can set up shop and live quite well.
Mm-hmm. Well, so being in Michigan, I kind of need to know, where are the hot spots in the state? Where should, if I want to look for something or stay away from something, where would be the hot spots of the state, do you think?
So generally what I tell people is anywhere that you have cornfields, you have the potential for Bigfoot or Dogman.
Oh, boy.
Because in those cornfields, you have turkey, you have deer, you have rabbits, you have rodents of any size. All of these are food sources for Bigfoot and for Dogman. So anywhere you have cornfields, anywhere you have farms, anywhere you have fruit tree orchards or
Oh, boy.
fruit farms. These are all areas where
I'm dead.
you have especially if you have forests nearby where they can, go into to hide themselves. Yeah, you have the potential for a Bigfoot or a Dogman to be in that area.
And what makes you think they're carnivores like that? Why wouldn't they just eat the corn?
They probably do eat the corn, but corn in and of itself is not very nutritious. And corn is not, if corn is cooked and softened, it's good for the diet. You can digest it, but dry corn is very hard on the digestive system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very it takes a lot to break it down. So Bigfoots, they probably eat a lot of fruit, but what they're looking for is easy kills. And it's been reported by a lot of other researchers that Bigfoots will often follow packs of coyotes, and as the coyotes are hunting and taking down a deer, the Bigfoot will just come in and take the deer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been more than one report from farmers who have outbuildings that they will go in the fall or the spring to get straw or hay, and they find up on top of these big round bales of hay a deer carcass.
Huh.
Ooh.
So you tell me what can flip a couple 100-pound deer, onto a bale, one of these round bales of hay that's taller than I am. I'm 5'8".
Mountain lion.
You know,
A mountain lion could pull a 200-pound deer right up a tree. They're pretty scary. I don't know if you have those there, but
we do, but the thing about it is these bales of straw, you wouldn't really be crawling on top of them, but they throw the deer up there and leave them and then come back and snack on them as they want. We've also gotten reports from farmers who have found piles of bones inside their barns, and they clean the bones out and they throw them in the woods, and a couple of weeks later the pile of bones returns.
What? That's strange.
And
Shetan,
the interesting thing about that is bones are made of calcium and other key nutrients that females need to produce offspring. So there's a reason why you don't find skeletal remains in the woods, is because every female animal is coming along and chewing on them and taking them for that calcium. So something was stockpiling its calcium reserve in order to have a abundance of it to eat whenever it needed.
Go ahead, Speedy.
Shetan, right now I'm kind of fascinated with this photo that's come out of the Amarillo, Texas zoo. I don't know if you saw that creature that made the rounds in the news lately.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
We don't know if it's a actual creature or if it's a furry or somebody did a taxidermy. There was a photo that still makes the rounds of a taxidermied wolf that was alongside the road, and everybody at first was like, "Oh my God, it's the Dogman." But when you take a really close look at the photo, you can see that it's actually missing like fur and bones and stuff like that off of it. And the person who originally, posted the photo has gone like, radio silence, because everybody knows it's a hoax, and they are tired of, getting hounded for being a hoaxer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. To your opinion, Shetan, what do you think, creatures like Bigfoot, Dogman, are these, maybe you already said it, I'm sorry if I missed it, but a lot of people, there's a big debate about if they're interdimensional beings or actual physical beings. What's your take on those?
So with Bigfoot, I do think that we have, I'm an aper, which means I believe that Bigfoots are part of a natural occurring species family tree here on Earth. I do believe that they are part of the fossil record and that they are part of the primate family tree, and they've just decided to go a different direction than humans. I also believe that we don't know every alien species that's, in the universe. So there could possibly be ape-like aliens that do come to Earth. Certainly, if they have the technology for a spaceship, they can pretty much travel where they want to. We haven't gotten to that point yet where we have the ability to visit other planets quickly. Now for Dogman, I think Dogman is a little bit different. I think they are interdimensional. I think they're interdimensional, or they are an alien species that comes here to Earth to kind of keep track of what humans are doing. And this might just be a vacation spot for them because of humans and animals alike must be, pretty interesting for them to hunt and interact with, because they are a apex predator. We do know with with the interactions between Bigfoot and Dogman that if a Dogman moves into Bigfoot's territory, the Bigfoot leaves. And this is usually
I
because
think we just lost our microphone or something, Chad.
Yeah. Just a second, Shetan. We've lost your
Yeah,
mic.
Shetan, I think you're. Did you hold your phone differently?
it's right here.
Oh, that's weird.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just sounds like you're in a can, like a tin can. I wonder if
your microphone just stopped being loud. It's really, really quiet and echoey a little, like you're in a can. Like, maybe you want to exit and then sign back in. That usually fixes it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll kick you out and have you come back in.
You weren't messing with no settings, right, Chad?
Fascinating, man.
Yeah. What was that, Sonny?
You weren't messing with any settings or anything.
Nope.
It just stopped, huh? It was almost like she went from a mic like we're using to her phone mic, but
I've heard phones do that before. It's weird. It's like it loses its strong connection, goes to a secondary connection.
I could barely hear her when that happened. It went. That's why I was asking if you messed.
Okay, is that better?
Oh,
Perfect.
way better.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Welcome back.
Okay. So as I was saying, we have noticed that if there is a Bigfoot in a certain territory and a Dogman moves in, the Bigfoots leave. Normally it's because the Bigfoot is a female with young and their primary job is to protect their young. And if you have a large predator that comes into the area, then typically you remove your young from that area.
That makes sense. I had these two pictures I wanted to pull up to see what you thought about my comparison here.
Kangaroo, yep.
So on the left-hand side is the picture we were talking about from Amarillo,
Yes.
and right is a kangaroo, and they look kind of similar. Just pointing that out. Kind of has the same arms, sort of, same skinny legs that bend right there. Well, I don't know if it bends in the same spot, but I just thought it looked kind of similar, especially since I pulled up a picture. I pulled up this picture on the left, and this kangaroo was one of the search options next to it. And I'm like, wow, that's ironic that they look pretty similar, and maybe somebody else had the same comparison. But I just thought that was interesting.
And that's interesting because that's down in Texas, which is much more of an Australian type environment.
Yeah, the climate.
Yeah. I know certainly up in Wisconsin, they get reports of kangaroos all the time. And they
in Wisconsin?
Yes.
That's crazy.
They have reports of a ghost kangaroo, but of live kangaroos too. And so it's kind of interesting. Every once in a while, people will see like kangaroos jumping across the road. And so it's like, that's not a natural occurring North American species. Where did that come from?
That is weird. I wonder how that happened. Especially if there was a mating. See, I don't see there being a mating couple that far north. So maybe it was a pet that somebody just let loose. Or...
Yeah. but there is also Circus World up in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Circus World.
And Circus World was the winter grounds for Ringling Brothers. And they used to house their animal menagerie there. So I always wonder if maybe a group of kangaroos got loose from there and made it into the wild, bred, and there's just a Wisconsin population of kangaroos somewhere.
That's awesome.
It's a possibility.
That'd be cool to run into them sometime out on a hiking trip or something.
Yes, but maybe not, because they will punch you. Even ones like back in the early spring, my mom, and her cousins went to an animal sanctuary near here, and one of their animals was a very old red kangaroo, and she's housed inside, but they let her out, and the first thing she proceeded to do was punch my one male cousin in the groin because he was in her way. And so she was just like, get out of my way, and punched him.
Jeez.
So it's
Rude.
like, okay, that's something that they do. They punch people.
So that's the other side of the cuteness. You got the cuteness, but then it's got some fierce attitude. Yeah, kicking and punching, and it's one of those friends that you think is going to be fun at the party, and then an hour into the party, you're like, oh, nobody should have invited this guy.
Kangaroo punches me, I'm knocking it straight out.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, something punches Sonny, he's going down until Sonny's down. Huh? Kangaroo. Yeah, kangaroo's box. That's for sure. Yeah. At least you'd have something to do out there in the woods. Give you something to do. Round 1, round 2, round 3. See who wins.
There's a kangaroo out here fucking boxing, man.
Yeah, he's boxing, man.
Call the SPCA, man.
What do we do about it, Ma?
There used to be, I believe it was from like the 1960s or 70s. There was an animal handler who took his kangaroos on all the different shows, and that was fine until the kangaroo started becoming more and more aggressive and started like punching people, and like the last there's a boxing match in between the animal handler and the kangaroo was winning. So
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a fellow Michigander right here.
There was a guy that took kangaroos around, or his kangaroo around, and you could fight it.
Yeah.
Ring. That's like a fair thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I got to look that up, Dom. He said that we had a kangaroo spotting in March, and he's up in Traverse City.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say there's no way because it gets really cold in Texas, but maybe that's why that has that longer hair.
It snows in Australia
they'll
also.
adapt to their environments.
It snows in Australia also, so it's at a different time of the year than what we experience winter, but they do adapt.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find the article where a kangaroo was found in Michigan, but I don't see anything. Baby, let's see, a koala. Koala came up missing.
What's the red root? What's Justin saying?
That's Justin saying.
Justin 80 Marion, that's a red root, mate.
The ones in the zoo are eastern gray roos.
Okay.
Roos. I like when they say roos.
Bruce.
Oh, that's just a brew. Yep. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if those were ever like a part of the crypto family, kangaroo, before they were discovered.
Probably because Australia has a lot of weird, strange things that you do not find in anywhere else in the world. So initial reports, were probably, hey, there's these things hopping everywhere, because they had the wallaby and the kangaroo there. And so people were probably freaking out about that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, I'll be right back. I got to grab something to drink, Chad.
Okay, no problem, man.
All right.
Awesome. Hey, what was this thing in your bio that I was reading? It's another part of the crypto family. I think it's Nain Rouge.
So you don't know about the Nain Rouge? You're from Michigan. Oh my
I've
God.
never seen that. I've never even seen it in text before. I've never seen that before.
The
Nain
Nain
Rouge.
Rouge is a Detroit legend.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I can't believe you're from Michigan and you don't know about the Nain Rouge.
I will after today. I will after
Oh my
today.
gosh. So the Nain Rouge, in description, he is a small child-sized lutin, which is what we call dwarves, trolls, fairies, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Very similar to like a leprechaun, but not. So the Nain Rouge was the protective spirit of the Native American lands of Belle Isle and Detroit. Now,
Really?
you have this early uh, French dignitary, Cadillac, who comes across. He's commissioned to come to, cross the Great Lakes, cross the Detroit River, and set up a fur trading post, a outpost here in Michigan. So on the night that he's going to leave to do this with all of his regiment of soldiers and town folk who are going to make the city, there they hold a party, and a gypsy comes in, a fortune teller, and proceeds to do fortune tellings. And he asks her, will I amount to great success in my life? And she says, yes, you will, as long as you don't anger the Nain Rouge. So, of course, Cadillac and his people get to Detroit. They build the fort, and Cadillac starts getting a little bit greedy, and he's taxing the people in the town for no other reason than to line his own pockets. And so the people are starting to get quite agitated with him, and he and his wife are taking a stroll along the river side bank, and out pops this little creature, this little man, who's red and colored, has these nasty yellow teeth, yellow eyes, is clad in fur, and the Nain Rouge proceeds to challenge him to a stick fight. Well, the Nain Rouge just has a stick and Cadillac has a cane. So, of course, Cadillac beats him with the cane. And it's at this point that his wife's yelling at him, remember what the fortune teller told you, don't anger the Nain Rouge. And by now, the Nain Rouge is scuttling off into the underbrush and puts a curse on Cadillac and his establishment, which was at that time the Fort Detroit. And it's not too much long after that bad things start to happen in Detroit as a settlement, and Cadillac is shipped back off to France, and he eventually ends up very poor and without a cent to his name. So and then there's different things that have happened. The Detroit riots were blamed on the Nain Rouge. Even before that, General Hull gave up the River Raisin fort because he said he saw the Nain Rouge dancing on the battlements, and he was the only general in the War of 1812 that was charged with cowardice because he gave up his post because he said he saw the Nain Rouge.
Wow, that is
So yeah,
fascinating.
like every March, on the third Sunday of March, they have a parade in Detroit to chase the Nain Rouge out of town. It's a huge thing.
How and where have I been growing up?
I don't know, but like
That doesn't
I
make
think
any
they've been doing that
sense.
for the last 10 years, and I like well, this year they ran, but the 2 previous years they canceled because of COVID. So yeah, where have you been?
I don't know, but that is awesome. I'm going to have to go and live stream from the parade from now on. This is Chad Smith. We're down here at the Nain Rouge Parade in downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
Beautiful Hart Plaza, Detroit.
No, it's not at Hart Plaza. It starts at Traffic Jam and Snug, and then it works its way down to the Detroit Masonic Temple.
Oh, awesome.
And people will be dressed in red. There's floats. There's second line band, or it's like you'd see in New Orleans.
Really?
It's very Detroit, very organic, and it's awesome. Oh my God, I am so shocked that you have never heard of it.
I know. I can't believe it either. It's like I live in a different state. I'm only
Well, you
I don't know,
are in
45.
Tecumseh, so you know that.
Yeah, it's like an hour west of Detroit, hour
Yeah.
and 40, about 45-minute drive, I'd say. Yeah, but that's something I might have to check out this year for sure. Oh, it's in March. I already missed it.
Yep. So you
I'll
have to wait till next year.
All right, I'll go next year for sure.
But Chad, you did bring us Big Willie, another cryptid from Michigan.
Big Willie is a cryptid that we found here in Michigan.
And he is red.
And he has red hair. That's right. Shetan, he's another co-host that we are friends with on UFO Garage.
Okay.
Yep. he's quite the cryptid in our community.
Drives a little car.
Yep, he drives a little car.
Makes lots of babies.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm back.
Oh, it's okay, Sonny. Did you get something to drink?
Yeah, I had to go all the way next door to get the milk.
Oh, right on. Good morning, 509. Yeah, guys, if anybody in the chat has any questions for Shetan, just type them in all caps, and I can ask her for you. But one thing I wanted to touch on, too, is that you are the lead investigator for the Michigan chapter of the North American Dogman Project.
Yes.
How did you get involved with them, and how did you rise in the ranks so far?
So when they were first establishing, which was, I want to say about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, they were looking for people in each state to take up the call of going out for investigations. And I just happened to send in my credentials at the right time, and they picked me as the Michigan chapter head. And they, I do get reports. The thing about it is, over the years, I have received hoaxed reports. So now when I do get sent a report, I have a whole list of a questionnaire for the people to fill out before I'll actually go out and investigate. Because some people hoax it and they think, oh, this is so funny. But, I don't have time to waste. Right. And if you're going to waste my time, then I'm going to make sure that you have to jump through some hoops to waste it. So I do quite a bit of field research. And it's always a comparative study of, okay, have you guys ever heard of this, or have you ever seen something like this with the different, evidence that you collect. And it's a nice group to consult with, especially if you're coming across something that you've never heard of or seen of. But it's a good organization if you want information about Dogman. They have quite a bit on the website, and so anybody who's interested in Dogman, I would definitely say go check out the North American Dogman Project website, because they have a lot of information.
And is Dogman the one that is kind of originating from Michigan?
So yes and no. The Dogman reports really started to gain notice when Linda Godfrey went and investigated the Beast of Bray Road. And when she contacted Animal Control, now Bray Road is in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And when she contacted the Animal Control, she was given a 2-inch thick file on werewolf reports. And then Linda started to get wind of a similar creature here around the Ludington, Michigan area. And so she has collected eyewitness reports, testimonies, and she's written several books on it. So Dogman started to really gain more exposure and more interest after Linda started writing books about it. because before then, people, when they would see a large bipedal hairy creature run across the road in front of them, everybody always assumed it was Bigfoot. But then we would get reports of, well, our Bigfoot had a tail. Well, no, Bigfoots don't have a tail. Dogman has a tail. Our Bigfoot had a snout. Nope. Bigfoots have a human or an ape-like face with no visible ears. And so key things that we would start asking people is, did it have a snout? Did it have visible ears? Did it have a tail? Were its legs human-like or were they canine-like? And so a lot of eyewitnesses, after, thinking about it and processing the whole experience, were like, no, it wasn't a Bigfoot we saw. It was a Dogman.
Whole different creature altogether.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Has there been any clues pointing to something else that doesn't show evidence for being a Dogman or a Sasquatch?
So generally, in the same group as Dogman, we get the Wendigo, we get Shapeshifter, and we get Skinwalker.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all separate entities. Dogman is a upright bipedal canine that can possibly go quadruped, that I think is interdimensional. Wendigo is something totally different. I generally do not deal with Wendigo, just because I do believe it's a human that has been possessed and has taken on some very bad psychological changes, because one of the parts of a Wendigo is cannibalism. And it affects humans primarily. You don't see the Wendigo taking over deer or a wolf or anything like that. But if the human is exposed to the possession long enough, they do start eating everything around them, including roadkill, humans, animals, and wearing like bits and pieces of different things. So the Wendigo is more of a psychological possession that finds a human host and takes hold, kind of like a demonic possession. But I think the Wendigo is a worst case scenario than a demonic possession. Shapeshifters, we see this a lot with folklore and fairy tale and myth. People that have the ability to change into a bat, like a vampire, or being the werewolf, changing from human into werewolf. Dogman doesn't change from human into Dogman. They stay Dogman.
Oh.
The werewolf, folklore of when a full moon comes out, the human being who's affected, that's a Rougarou from down in New Orleans, where it's a person who's been infected by another Rougarou, and on a full moon or during certain portions of the month, they also take on the appearance of the Rougarou. A Skinwalker is a Native American shaman who has decided to use their powers for darkness, and then whatever animal pelts that they have, coyote, cougar, bobcat, wolf, bear, if they have that pelt, then they can take on the shape and appearance almost of that creature. But there's usually something off about the appearance of it, and that's how you can tell that it's a Skinwalker.
I've actually never looked that up before, Chad. A Wendigo, have you?
I haven't either. No.
It says it's a what did it say? It says a cannibalistic giant, a person who has been transformed into a monster by the consumption of human flesh.
Yep.
So if they eat human flesh, it turns them into the monster.
And so in the northern states and in northern Canada, the Wendigo is a human being who's been possessed by a entity and becomes this cannibalistic creature. Now, in the southwestern United States, they called the reddish colored Bigfoot Wendigos, but they also were cannibalistic and ate humans. And for a long time, this was thought to be a folklore, a myth, until archaeologists found a cave with smaller human remains that had been chewed on and larger, gigantic human looking remains with no chew marks. So they believe that this species of Bigfoot was cannibalistic and lived in these caves and would capture humans for the sole purpose of eating them.
Have you ever seen the pictures of the skeletons that are like real big? I mean, they look
giants,
like,
yes.
yeah, they're giants. Like they're even bigger than the Bigfoot
Yep.
Skeletons that people show off.
I've seen a burial that they found like that, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a huge person. And then
Yeah, that's
at his feet next to him, there's two regular people that are buried and they're in like a fetal position. And
Yeah.
they're saying that those were like his servants, two of his servants or something. They were both female. And I was like, that's messed up. He died, so they buried them with him.
Yeah.
That's how it looked, actually. But
they're,
yeah, at like his feet, and they might have came up to his knees in a fetal position. These full-grown people,
Jeez,
their bones were only as tall from like maybe his foot to his knee, and then that's how big this other guy's bones were. His grave was like 9 or 10 feet.
Yeah, those are. I don't understand what those are. The giants.
well, we know. So there's been many historical reports of giants, and it's actually been documented that in the early development of our country, a lot of these skeletons were found, and they were shipped to the Smithsonian Museum, and then were lost. And lost, as in,
Right.
we don't have an explanation for this, so they're just going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you look at people like Andre the Giant, who was a very enormous person, very tall, but it was because he had a medical disease or a genetic disease, and people suffering from this only live into like their 40s. So it's very possible that there was a race of very tall people here in the United States who might have had this particular genetic disorder, and they probably had children, but they didn't live past their 40s.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing that I was just wondering about, is how does something this large get to be this big? Like that right there isn't out of the realm of possibilities. It's like 8 foot or something.
Yeah.
But this thing is just, this giant skull that we're looking at is like 5 foot wide, 4 foot wide.
Yeah.
There's no way that's real. I mean, it can't. Maybe, but
I mean, if it is, holy shit.
Holy bleep word. Yeah, there's some other ones
Oh,
on
look
here,
at the
but
Cyclops one over there, Chad, to your right.
which one's that?
Keep going. One more.
This guy?
You're yeah, that right there. That's crazy.
Oh, that is crazy. Giant
never
skeletons
seen one
seem
of
too
those
real to
before.
be
Now,
hoax.
so originally, Cyclopses, the story or myth of Cyclopses was based on elephant skulls that people found, and because it didn't have the trunk attached to it or the long ears, people didn't realize that they were actually looking at elephant skulls, and that's where the story of the Cyclopses came from.
I love that you have so much knowledge.
It's what I do. I
We're
research.
like, oh, a
I
Cyclops. She's like,
And
oh,
I talk
speaking
about
of
it.
Cyclopses. That's awesome. Yeah, the giant thing, that's always been an interest of mine since I saw those. I'm pretty sure I saw that kind of stuff when I was a kid, just like the real big skeletons that, I mean, a lot of these pictures they've got to be. I mean, I'm hoping they're fake. It's like a human standing next to a skeleton that's just as tall as he is, like the skull itself. So, I mean, there's definitely things that we can't explain. There's things out there that we haven't seen, and it could be real, but it's just one of those things that's like, if that is real, then there's a huge piece of history that we are not aware of.
But we do know that
Perfectly
genetically, it's possible within the human race to have very tall representative, because you don't see anybody under like 6 foot on a basketball game. Most of the basketball players range from 6'5" to like 8 foot. For NBA standards. So we do know, we have from dwarfism, from people who think the smallest person ever recorded was not even 2 feet tall. She was a sideshow performer named Thumbelina, and she actually perished because the circus train that they were on got stuck in the snow, and nobody was able to keep her warm enough, and so she actually froze. Died of exposure. But she was only 22 inches tall.
22 inches tall.
And a full-grown adult.
Whoa.
So compare that to a modern-day NBA player who's, over 7 foot tall. Mm-hmm. That's a huge size difference within human beings, with the average human being about 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
I like
definitely shows
one
the
of my
two
favorite
differences.
One of my favorite tall people is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 7'2".
7'2".
And then I've met Richard
Sorry, I
Kiel.
just had to bring that up.
That's the monster. That man was a giant. Richard Kiel, Jaws from the 007 movies, the old bad guy.
Uh-huh.
Never seen it.
The metal teeth. He always had the metal teeth in. Call him Jaws. Yeah, he was big. I don't remember actually how tall, but I'm 5'7", so I'm not very tall, and he would tower over me. His wife, the way I met him was I used to have lunch with him sometimes, so his wife was with him too, and she's only like 5'2", 5'1". She's shorter than 5 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
So and she was with him, and to watch them come in, he looks like a monster. He the nicest guy though you would have ever met. He's really, really sweet, real nice guy, but he does look like a giant.
Well, he's the one that you want on your team, on your side.
Yeah, he held one of my daughters when they were like, I don't know, a month old, just newborn. And he held her in one hand when he was holding her like this. She's just in his hand.
That's awesome.
His hands are this long. They really are. His hands were huge.
That's probably a cool picture.
No fig. I didn't take a picture of that.
Oh,
but that guy's big. That guy was definitely a giant to me.
Vera Ray says my nephews are 7'4" and 7'5". I say, can you sit down? My neck hurts. I'm 5'1".
Yeah, I'm actually I'm 5'7". He's 7'5".
That's crazy. Big difference.
Size matters.
That's right. That's what I hear.
Who told you that?
Oh, Deanna Conway's in the chat. She says that he was 7'2".
Decon.
Decon.
Morning, Deanna.
Good morning, Deanna. Shetan, do we have any crazy monsters that I need to look out for up here in the Great Lakes?
Yes.
Because these lakes are the only bodies of water I feel comfortable swimming in since we have no sharks. But I have a feeling you're about to ruin that.
So Lake Michigan is relatively safe. We do have a couple of giant turtle reports, but those are a little bit higher up in the state. Stearns Bayou and Lake Leelanau both have a giant turtle report of a sizable turtle, like Volkswagen Bug, size or bigger.
What?
Now,
Is that the folk story about the turtle that someone mistook for land or something?
Yes, and tied. Yep, and tied their boat to the tree, and then the head and neck raised out of the water, and the young man was like, "Nope, nope, nope." Pulled his, because he didn't have an anchor. He was tying up
You
to the
thought
tree.
he was on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but let me say that we do have these giant turtle reports, but we also have in the fossil record there was a aquatic turtle called Archelon. Archelon was 5,000 pounds and was 15 feet from the tip of its nose to the tip of its tail, 13 feet from the tip of one flipper to the tip of the other flipper. And that's just the average. We don't, just like we were just discussing, there's a range of sizes in all species. So there could have been ones bigger than that. There could have been ones smaller than that. But
Have a nice swim,
the
Chad.
Stearns Bayou monster is a bioluminescent turtle that glows from underneath. But it was said to have at the time of the report, an 8-foot alligator tail, a 7-foot body, and then a head of a hippopotamus.
Okay.
So that to me is either a snapping turtle or a soft-shelled turtle. But the weird thing is bioluminescent.
That's
You don't
crazy.
really see that in any turtle species. So that is kind of a unicorn of the water of a strange report.
Was it its
But
shell?
other than that, Lake Michigan is typically very safe from lake monsters.
That's
There
good.
was a shark attack report in the early 1950s, but it was over in the Chicago area. And the only reason it was able to get up that far is that was before they installed the locks and dams on the Mississippi River and the Illinois River, which are now in place to keep the silver carp population in check. But it was most likely a bull shark because they are the only species that can go for as long as they want in fresh water. They can live indefinitely. The only problem is Lake Michigan is only warm in August. And the rest of the time, it's a very cold body of water. So this shark would have to be relatively close to the shoreline for it to stay warm, and more people would have seen it if it was living in the area. Now, Lake Superior has some, it has the underwater lynx or the underwater panther in Abishu.
Underwater panther?
Which is of Native American legend. It has the great Manitou Nibinibus, the god of the lakes, who is a merman type creature. There's Cressy, which is said to be a sea serpent. The Detroit River and Lake Huron have a plethora of sea serpent reports. Lake Ontario has Carcagna and O'Neill, which are two different sea lake monster type creatures, and Kingsley, which is supposed to be a plesiosaur type creature, and Lake Erie has Bessie, which is supposed to be a plesiosaur type creature.
Yes.
Jeez.
Bessie.
I caught one of those. I was looking up. I had to look up this panther. The
great underwater panther.
The great underwater panther. It's even got horns.
Yes.
What in the world? Why does it have horns? And it's got like this tadpole tail to it.
Because it's said that it lurks on the lake's bottom, and it is the gatekeeper to the underworld. And the only thing that keeps the great underwater panther in check is the thunderbird. But the thunderbird occasionally has to leave to go eat, to mate, to rest. And it's at these times when it, is a way that the underwater panther churns up the lakes and, creates the great storms that take down freighters and lakers.
He had his fingernails painted green.
Yeah, it's a cool looking cryptid. I really like that cryptid for some reason. I'm drawn to the underwater panther. I like it's got, I can't tell if those are horns or supposed to be like antlers.
So one of the interesting things that I found out when I was writing my lake monster book was that moose can dive up to 20 feet underneath water to eat the underwater vegetation.
I didn't know
And
that.
a lot of
I didn't either.
depictions
I know
of
stick their head down there.
Inabishu, the great underwater panther, is it having horns and an algae-like mane and fur or slimy algae-covered scales. And so I think what happened on probably more than one occasion is a Native American hunting party or a party of or a tribe was traveling the lake and had one of these moose that was underneath the water eating suddenly pop up next to them and be thrashing around, and that's where the story of Inabishu comes from.
Yeah, I bet. Especially if that moose had grass and stuff hanging from those
Yep.
horns, came up out of the lake. That's not something you'll. I didn't even know they would dive like that.
Yep,
I knew they stuck their head under the water.
They can dive up to 20 feet underwater. They seal their noses shut and they dive down to grab clumps of vegetation and come back up and eat. And they do this all over from Maine all the way to Alaska. And we also know that orcas have been found with full moose in their stomach.
Yes.
So we know that, moose will go into water, but we really don't know of any orcas coming onto land and lasting very long.
I'm trying to get a better picture of this Bessie, because this thing is creepy too. Bessie, the Lake Erie monster. Looks like it took down a sailboat, it says. But that's one of those articles, looks like it's from...
See, Chad, you have nothing to
That
worry
looks
about
like an
man, in
elephant's
your
trunk.
lake swims. Nothing to worry about at all.
nothing to worry about. This is only about an hour east of me right here, this Lake Erie
Well,
monster. No big deal.
That's what you think.
Now Lake Erie has
They get around.
much more dangerous things than lake monsters. The algae bloom that they get every year is toxic by any means, and
true.
for that reason alone, Lake Erie should be avoided.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Lake Erie, I think.
Like scary.
The inland, like the lakes that are inland, it's funny to say inland because all the Great Lakes are considered inland, but the ones that are like right here in the state where it's like by me, I've got Wampler's Lake over here by the state park, and some of the other larger lakes like Houghton Lake and Higgins Lake. Those ones, it seems like to me like something like that would also have some cryptids in it too.
Generally, the only cryptids they get is people who have released alligators.
Oh, okay.
They get these baby, alligators that are a few inches long, and then it keeps growing and growing and growing. And when it gets 6 feet, they can't handle it anymore, so they just release it. And which is really stupid because they don't do well, particularly if they're raised by humans, because then they look to humans, to feed them. So, and it's a reptile, so it's not like a dog or a cat. I will say that they do have excellent hearing. There's the Critchlow Alligator Sanctuary down in Antlers, Michigan, and they have been able to teach each one of the alligators their name.
Really?
And so the alligators can, they can tell the difference between, I think one's name, there was one named Dot and one named something very similar, and they knew the difference between their names. But they have told me that they have gone out on calls here in Michigan to extract alligators, crocodile, caiman from local waterways that people have just released. So, but now in September, there is the Dewey Lake Monster Conference at Sisters Lake Brewery down in Dewaganac, Michigan. Jeez. And that is one of the few in Michigan lake monsters that are actually in a land-based lake on Michigan that we know of. And that was supposed to be a Bigfoot type creature that liked to spend more of its time in the water.
Yeah, this dude's ugly looking. I mean, most of them are kind of ugly looking, but here, I'll bring this picture up. This dude is scary.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's got a really
cryptid hate
wide
in here.
mouth, a couple giant teeth. Yeah, sorry, no cryptid hate. Sorry, no cryptid hate. But that dude is ugly. Cryptid hate.
Yeah, that looks like a video game monster.
Let's see. Got to be a better picture of him that's not so clay looking. But how does his story
There's
originate?
So the Dewey Lake Monster,
Yeah,
the
there's one.
report goes back to the early 1900s, and it said that a gentleman was there at a local cabin, and he was hearing things out in the water, and his canoes kept on getting smashed up. So he went out to see what was happening and encountered the Dewey Lake Monster, and it proceeded to attack him. And some reports say that he went missing. Some reports say that he went back into town. But it's a legend around there. And so a friend of mine, Eric with Uncomfortable Podcast, has taken over the conference there. So this year we're going to have speakers like Ron Moorhead there.
Cool.
Talking about, he's the one who recorded the Sierra Bigfoot sounds from the Sierra Nevada mountains, or what people call the samurai chatter. And he's very knowledgeable about, the different vocalizations that Bigfoots make. So it'll be a full day event at the Sisters Lake Brewery. I believe it is September 10th. It's the second Saturday in September.
There's so much stuff going on in Michigan that I didn't know about.
Oh my God.
I need to leave the
there's a
studio
big-
every now and then.
Michigan has dunes too, Chad.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we have a couple sets of dunes. There's the Silver Lake Sand Dunes, and we have the Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, Shetan, do you know the legend of the Sleeping Bear Dunes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I could probably kind of, sort of say it, but if you know it, I'd love to hear it from you.
So the legend of the Sleeping Bear Dunes is that a mother bear and her two cubs were trying to escape a hunter. And the mother bear and the cubs swam from the shoreline out to a island in hopes of escaping the hunter, but her cubs perished in the water. And the mother bear was so distraught and upset that she died there on the island, and the island itself reshaped itself in the form of a bear.
Yes. Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Do you have
And
a
if you
picture
go-
of that one, Chad?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. If you go there, it's like a thing that you do when you're a Michigander. You can go there when you're a kid and climb. You take your shoes off at the bottom, and then you climb all the way to the top. And then you get a really nice view of the lake. And then you can go down, but if you go down, you got to walk yourself. You got to climb back up again.
Yeah. And if you can't climb up and you have to call for help, it's a major fine.
Yeah, because they'll come save you, but
It's
it
going to
costs
cost
money.
you.
Yep. This is at the bottom looking up at the top.
Yep.
It doesn't look that bad in the picture.
Yeah, you can bear crawl up it.
That's not that bad.
Let's see if I can get a better view of when you're at the top. It's beautiful up there.
Do you guys have dunes that go straight up and down, Chad? Like
Yeah,
drive
up
over the
in
top
the-
of them, they just drop straight off.
yeah, it's
Yeah, like that.
along the lake shore, because people like to build their houses along the lake shore, and then a couple of years later, the house goes into the lake.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on right now with a lot of places. See, it
There's
kind of looks like
also,
California.
I don't know if you knew this, Chad, but there's also
Yeah.
a Bigfoot conference July 30th in Chelsea, Michigan.
In Chelsea?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm right by Chelsea.
Yeah. It is the Michigan Bigfoot Conference. They're going to have a lot of good speakers there. I'll be one of them. But Ron Moorhead, I think, is going to be there also. I think Cliff from Finding Bigfoot is going to be there. There's a lot of different, good speakers there.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask Bigfoot Michigan Rob if he's planning on being there, and we should all meet up over there.
Yes.
Michigan Bigfoot Conference.
Yes,
And you said that's July?
July 30th.
July 30th.
It's that Saturday.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to be there. That sounds
It's
awesome.
not that far away from you, so
I was gonna say, if it's that close, Chad, you should probably go, man.
I have no excuses. I can get there in a half hour.
You and
yeah, I was
Jake,
gonna say you're only like a half an
you
hour
and
away
Jake,
from there.
man.
Yep, me, Jake, Bigfoot Michigan Rob,
Oh,
get Big
Jake
Willie
Willie.
over there.
Take Willie with you.
Yep, take Willie over there with us. That sounds awesome. That's not that far away.
Mm-mm.
Okay, consider it done. We'll be there.
Awesome.
And then
Sounds good
I
to
want
me.
you're gonna have to do like Chris did, Akashi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do an interview or something with some of those people while you're there. Take some
Yeah.
stuff. Take your laptop.
I should treat it like it's a giant, like it's a really big event, even though it's a half hour away. You should get a hotel room and do the live right from the hotel room, like Akashi Chris and the Alien Girl were doing.
Well, I know that there's going to be at least two other podcasts there recording, interviews. So that's certainly an option. I think they still have, vendors open. So
Oh boy, live on location.
go for it.
You better
I
have
know
a
that
good-
they still have vendors open for the Dewey Lake Monster Conference also.
Oh yeah, I
better
pulled up a
start,
picture.
dropping that buy me a coffee so you can get you and Jake a room.
Yeah, really. Buy us a coffee. Here's the Dewey Lake Monster. Here's a poster.
Yep.
Summer of 1964, and then on the bottom it says, "The thing is real."
That's that little mold. I mean, that little creature you pulled up that was, I don't know what it was made out of, clay or
Yeah, that dude, the
Yep.
Dewey Lake Monster.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, man. It says a must-have for the Dewey Lake Monster fan. This is the classic wall poster for the 1964 event, which started it all.
That's pretty cool.
That's sweet. That'd look good in the studio. So what's your favorite cryptid out of all the ones that you've looked up? Because I know you started out with Nessie and that you're a really big fan of the lake monsters. So which out of all of them?
Lake monsters will always be my favorite because you can't prove them and you can't disprove them. They're basically the Schrodinger's cat of the cryptid world. Because at no time will our Great Lakes ever be drained enough that you will be able to clearly see the bottom of the lake and see everything that's, down there.
Right.
And that goes for aquatic species are, we're always finding new aquatic species every year. And even as big as whales, we just had a new whale species that was discovered, and it's been there all along, but people just didn't realize it. And so I will always love my lake monsters. I love the classic sense of the lake monster, which I would call the amalgamations, which is you start out with like a lake, a dragon type creature, and then it gets, like the great underwater panther. It has horns on its head, it has spikes on its back. It, takes a lot of natural details and elements from the natural world and adds it onto this creature. And then my next favorite category in lake monsters would be the prehistoric marine reptiles, like your plesiosaurs, your mosasaurs, your pilosaurs, and for dinosaurs too, or prehistoric creatures, those are my favorite also.
Excellent. Yeah, that's all stuff that I have not heard before. So it's awesome to hear somebody that's so knowledgeable about the topic. I feel like we could do 5 more podcasts and just keep on learning. Yeah.
There's podcasts where I'm a regular occurring guest like every other month because they're like, hey, we have her back and now we're going to make her talk about this. It's like,
yeah, I can see why. Excellent. It's been a really fun show.
I should also say I do teach at 2 community colleges, Kellogg Community College here in Michigan at both the Battle Creek and Hastings campus, and Owens Community College in Perrysburg, Ohio. And the 2 courses that I teach is the Paranormal History of the Great Lakes and Cryptozoology of North America.
Well, I think I need to sign up for those. Those both sound awesome. I could sit and listen to that for a whole semester. Are those both in what do they call that now? In-person classes?
Yes. We're done for like the session, so the next one would be the fall that I would be offering classes at both.
Okay.
But you're probably closer to Kellogg Community, to Battle Creek or Hastings.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it'd be a lot of driving.
Yeah. I guess I need to find a third college that's more middle of the state.
Washtenaw Community College.
I will check it out.
That's the closest one to me, I think. Well, awesome.
I agree with you, Enzo.
She's a great guest. Very knowledgeable.
Awesome,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Very much so. And the 2 links that I have to give out to people are your Facebook link at Shetan.Noir, and then I also have your website, the liminal. How do you say that?
There's Into the Liminal Abyss, but there's also Shetan Noir Cryptozoologist. So if you just type in my name, it'll bring up, hopefully, my main Wix website, which is for getting a hold of me as a presenter or as a podcast guest. It might bring up the Squatch GQ, or you can just type in Squatch GQ magazine and it will bring up the website. On Amazon, you can type in either Shetan Noir or Squatch GQ magazine, and it will bring up the magazines, my cryptozoology books, and the research field journals that I have available on there. And then on Facebook, you can find me, Facebook and Instagram, you can find me Shetan Noir.
Excellent. And I also want to bring this up too. You have a book called The Lake Monsters and Odd Creatures of the Great Lakes, black and white version. And you can find that on Amazon. I'm going to also drop that link in the chat right now. So if you guys could please go over there and support her on her Amazon page.
Thank you. And then I also have Mothman and Other Flying Creatures of the Midwest is a book that's available on Amazon.
Very good. A wealth of knowledge. We're definitely going to have to rebook you and have you back on again.
Oh, well, thank you. I'd love to come back on.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, we'll see you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Awesome. She had so much knowledge. I didn't even know where to go next.
Yeah, that was a good guest. Good show, guys.
Awesome show.
And also, you guys are listening to us on the podcast side, come over and check us out on YouTube one of these days.
Yeah.
And everyone listening on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. And also go look us up at Paranormal Chop Shop. That's our other channel. And go subscribe to that too. And as soon as we get everything set up with the new network, we'll be dropping the links for that for you guys to go subscribe to, and we'll get it all figured out. It's coming. Everything's going pretty quick.
Yeah, for everybody that's wondering about the new network and has some questions, we have questions too. So we're still figuring everything out, and we'll let you guys know as soon as we know. As soon as everything gets figured out.
You're talking about the Spooky Network?
Yeah, the Spooky Network.
The Spooky Morales Network?
Are we doing that now?
Yeah, are we allowed on that network? We're still going through. It's going to be for
VIP only, and yes, ladies, there will be a champagne room.
Jeez, I wasn't aware of that.
How you feeling, Chad? You feeling tired? You don't look bad.
No, actually, this new coffee is the strangest tasting coffee I've ever had. Apparently, when you take coffee beans before they ship them, they rinse them off. They call it like a wash, where they get rid of the outside layer, which is, they call it honey, apparently. Well, I went to this coffee shop in town. It's called, I'll just give them a shout out. It's called Musgrove Coffee in Tecumseh, Michigan. I go there. I'm like, hey, I normally just go to the grocery store to buy my coffee, but I wanted to support you guys today. So what do you got for coarse ground coffee I can use for a French press? She says, we only have one type of coffee. You can buy it in the beans over there, or we can grind it up for you here. but it's different than normal coffee. It's got a different taste to it. Like, okay, well, I'm down with trying different coffees. I get it home and open the bag, and it smells different than any other coffee. I mean, it smells like it's flavored coffee.
Huh.
And it's got a really light brown color to it. Like, it's almost like red coffee. It's not black like you would think it was.
Any undertones?
Lots of undertones. It's got some undertones, some inner tones, outer tones. It's got all kinds of
Overtones.
tones. I don't even know what to say. It's a weird taste. But if anybody's ever had coffee that they don't clean, they call the outer layer honey, apparently. But if you've ever had coffee that they don't clean the honey off before they ship it out to you.
You want me to go grab one of Deanna's pillows? She got her 2 pillows yesterday. She
Yeah.
got a bunch of clothes too. She got Chop Shop sweaters and shirts and.
Yeah, I want to see the Chop Shop stuff, because...
we go
Did she get a
that.
Chop Shop one with the new logo on it? Where
I
it's
think
not
so.
the gauges, where it's just the logo?
I think it's just the logo. I
wanna
don't know.
see
It's her
that.
stuff. She told me I couldn't touch it.
Oh, I want to see what that looks like, because I want to see if it's far enough down on the shirt or if it's up too high.
Okay. Give me a second.
Jeanette
Kashi
Sanchez
said
says-
it. She likes this music. It makes her feel like she might be getting a reading soon.
Oh, really? I can't. If I start doing that, we'll go for another hour and a half. I can't just give one
Do it.
reading. Just tell Kashi, Chris?
Yeah, she said she feels like she might have a reading coming on soon. Hey, Chad, can I get you to do me a favor? It just doesn't sound the same when I say it. Can you say Rodney Posky?
Rodney Posky. Why do I say it different?
Oh, you don't hear it, but I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rodney Posky.
Pasky.
Posky.
We need to have Rodney Pasky as a guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, header operator Rodney Posky. Oh, he'd be a crazy guest. We'll have to get him on a Friday Chop Shop event.
Okay.
Chop Shop
Oh,
night.
he and Jake together would be sweet.
We could interview him and see how they make bolts.
We can find out all their innermost secrets.
Sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Brassel
Okay,
says,
so
Chad, say taxes. Taxes. I gotta go over here and do my taxes. Is it just the
How
hard
about-
A? Is that what it
How
is?
about reading cards?
Well, guys, I'm just gonna welcome you to the Chop Shop over here. We're gonna read some cards.
Some cards.
Oracle cards. Oh,
Oh, hell.
that looks cool. Anything on the back? Oh, my logo. I forgot I put it's a double-ended one. Oh, that shirt, though. That shirt looks cool, man. That shirt almost looks like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, shirt.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
And she's got a sweatshirt. Yeah.
Man, that turned out good. Did we put the logo on the back? Yep.
You put that big logo on the front, and I'll buy a 6-pack. You heard that right. I always want the big logo on the front. Actually, I want it on the front and the back.
podcasting, but for wearing them, I like them with your name tag and then on the back.
I'll pay extra.
We can do them with them on the front too.
I do not. I want to be able to see it, like in your face. Boom!
All right. So, Spooky, you want the big logo all the way across the front, like
You
this.
heard that.
Get Chad
Morales.
Smith's mug
Just
right
like
up in
that.
your
See,
mug
that
when you're
is how you do
sleeping.
it.
Mm-hmm. I got that pillow.
Yes, you do. You got
Oh my
2 of them.
gosh.
I think she got them for the trailer for the couch.
Can we get Chop Shop Chatty Daddy Nipple?
All right. Let me put this stuff up or I get yelled
She got
at.
me to read it.
She's gonna smack me around. Touching this stuff.
This is the one you need right here, folks.
Oh, bam!
Bam! And you can get them over at UFOGaragePodcast.com.
Dick pillow.
Dick pillow.
Good Lord. Turn that thing around.
Get yourself a dick pillow at UFOGaragePodcast.com. Do we have any more announcements, Spooky? I like your shirt, Somewhere in the Skies. Where'd you get that?
This is Ryan Sprague. It was one of my first merches I got. I saw it in the back of the closet, and I said, you know what? I got to support my boy, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not down with all the infighting and all the division. I like us all to come together, so I want to support everybody. Yesterday we got retweeted by Mr. Luis from UCR, and I really appreciated that.
Really?
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, man. Been following you since the beginning.
We're down with everybody. We don't want no of the beef. We just want to be friends.
I'm a Patreon supporter of his, and I totally forgot that I signed up for that. Wonder how long ago that was.
Friends. This is a Tic Tac.
Oh, Jamie wants me to show you guys the boxers.
Oh, that's a cool ass shirt, man.
Tic Tac Attack.
Oh, there's the boxers.
I still haven't gotten a confirmation if these are actually for sale over there. I haven't looked on their site.
I got a pair of them already.
You got a pair of them?
Oh, if
got
you
'em
got
on.
them, you got to model them. No, don't be saying that. You got them if you ain't going to be showing. That's for the after party, right?
I need proof.
For the members.
Yeah, that's part of the buy me a coffee. Kashi Chris needs a card, guys. Kashi Chris needs a card.
Yeah.
This is a Sunday only thing, but
No, exclusive. Chad Smith podcast.
whoa!
exclusive.
Did you guys see that?
No.
This literally just jumped up and almost hit the computer screen and then landed back down.
We got a jumper.
Hey, Akashi Chris. Confidence is your key to success. The new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. Yeah, this definitely feels like Sunday now. This card heralds the start of a new cycle for you, Akashi Chris, when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight, more like you have something worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, this card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do your bit. That means being proud of who you are and what you have to offer. Think of yourself as the king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is also a great omen if you're asking about a creative project that you're working on. Alternatively, it can herald good news or a new start for your children. Like Jamie and Bree. Make time to have fun. Additional meanings. It's time for you to show the world what you've got. Shine your light. Have some pride. Spoil yourself. You've earned it. You've turned someone's head. Leo is the sign of the big and brave lion-hearted. I can't read. The big and brave-hearted lion of pride and showmanship and flirting. The energy around the new moon in Leo, and therefore around this card whenever you pull it, is hot and generous. The energy loves itself, and so should you. If you've been too much of a wallflower, this new moon card and the new moon in Leo comes as a reminder that you need to be proud of who you are. Boom. There is your Tuesday morning reading. Kashi Chris.
Pretty awesome, man.
She said, oh, wow. Hopefully it resonated.
Bobby Ramos, good to see you, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
I can't see the photo.
These are the only cards I pulled, Chad.
I'm gonna put on my glasses.
Oh, a newbie here. Not a man.
Oh, she's pretty. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Good morning. Sorry about that, Bobby Ramos.
Let me get a little bit more into my.
Yeah, I got to get my magnifying glass out for this. That icon there.
I hate that I need glasses.
She says, wow. Jeanette. Guys, put a 1 in the comments below if you'd like a reading from Jeanette Sanchez. And she's going to be doing readings after the Chad Smith podcast. So go over to Jeanette's channel and subscribe, please. Now who's going to be pissed, Jeanette
Sweetly
Sanchez?
Morbid. That's a good one.
Can you do a collective card for us all?
Card.
I'll do one more card. Collective card for everybody in the
R.
audience.
Card. Hey, you could be a pirate.
Arr. Arr.
You know that's the favorite letter in the alphabet for a pirate, right?
R.
Arr.
It's got to be. There's no other explanation. You know what? Here, we'll just do this. Who said that? Jeanette? Or Akashi, Chris? Oh, a card for the collective. Sweetly Morbid Bear said that. Okay. Here's what we'll do. We'll just shuffle these one time, and whatever card's on the bottom, That's our card for the collective. Here, I'll split the deck. Bottom card is self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. Forgive yourself for not being able to pronounce words correctly. Self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. It's a good one. I guess I should read it's the Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel. He's the angel of compassion and forgiveness, and he brings an important message about your attitude toward yourself. If you tend to be too hard on yourself or relive your past mistakes with shame and self-reproach, Zadkiel showers you with the light and love of self-forgiveness. This card reminds you of how your self-perception influences your energy. If you're quick to fault yourself, your energy becomes darkened with your own disapproval, and that darkness returns to you. But Zadkiel is a supremely loving being, and he's longing for you to forgive and accept yourself no matter what you may have done in the past. Treat yourself with compassion and be encouraging in your self-talk. You are a child of God, and you deserve your own loving acceptance just as you are. And there you go. That is the card for the collective today. No more reading cards.
That's very lovely, Chad. Thank you so very much for that, man.
You're welcome. Hard. I'm working hard today. Working hard, reading them cards.
That'll be your next podcast name. Hard Cards.
The Hard A. The Chad Smith. The Hard A podcast. Live from Michigan. Dude, that's so cool that she's from Michigan. She's got all this Michigan knowledge, and she knows when all the dates are and the conferences. And
man, she was.
You don't know nothing.
I don't know anything about anything. Can you believe that?
But at least she told you now you can go.
Yeah, we have to make that conference. It's literally a half hour down the road.
Be right back.
Be right back. We're going to be off the air.
No, we're not. We got another hour.
Love you too,
Another
Chris.
hour. Yeah, that is a big deck, man.
Akashi's show on
look at the difference.
the weekend was so good. Mind fork.
Size matters, Spooky.
I am no size queen.
Size matters.
But I do like Big Willie.
What I
Sweet
meant.
Morbid Bear says, say and repeat. I'm a MFN rainbow, and I bring my own MFN sunshine. I see what you're saying. I'm a mother scratching rainbow, and I bring my own mother scratching sunshine. Okay? Say it and repeat. Yeah, only 2 hours, Jamie. Okay? We don't get paid the same amount that you do on your...
Hey, me and
Okay.
Spooky were down to go 3 hours, and Chad said nope.
Oh, he's giving up the goods.
What? I didn't say that. What are you talking about?
Spooky, you good to go another hour?
Sonny's
just
spilling
let
the
Chad go to
tea. Man, what time is it? 9 o'clock? Oh,
As long as you guys
is
bring
it
enough
9
content,
o'clock?
He just don't look tired enough.
as long as Sonny brings enough content to fill another hour, I'm good.
You gotta break out those manis.
What do you want to talk about? I can fill an hour.
Well,
I'm just gonna give
what's
one
been
shout
happening
out.
in the world.
We've got like 10 new members on the Facebook group.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm just going to shout out Holly Matthews, Richard Batwa, Chris Harmon, Jeanette Sanchez, Alex Malcopine, Sean Proco, Jack Scott, Adam Ramos, Sonny Burnett, and Shetan Noir. Thank you so much for joining the Facebook group. And we also have Buy Me a Coffee supporters that we need to shout out. So thank you very much to Enzo Surreal for being a $10 monthly supporter, Jake Smith for being a $15 monthly supporter, Deanna for being a $10 monthly supporter, Rodney Posky for being our annual member,
Pasky.
Rodney Posky,
Ask.
and to my mom for being a $5 supporter of the Chad Smith podcast. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and everything that we do. And my nonstop buying habits.
Better start buying those Oracle decks. You
It's
get hooked on them like Cass.
It's not even the decks, it's the tech. I can't stop buying tech.
She was still trying to send me one the other night.
A new Oracle deck.
Yeah.
I know the one she wants to send you to, and I think you should just accept it. That one's pretty cool. It swears. It's a naughty one. She says she doesn't even... Yeah, she doesn't even like reading from it. She's like, I shouldn't be saying those words.
That's so funny.
Jamie, we could have an after party, but you're at work. So... I don't know how that's going to work.
Y'all need to quit working.
You can say that
easy.
Again.
It's easy for us, huh, Spooky? We live in California. We can just quit working.
I said it last night. If you guys can just find me $1,000 a week, I'll sit right here the whole
Well,
week.
we're finding it.
$1,000 a week. I thought you said $4,000. Oh, that was a month.
That's a month. $4,000 a month
Oh, okay, gotcha.
gets me. You can have me for the whole month for $4,000.
Oh, really?
Jamie, did you hear that? That's pretty. The bidding starts at 4,000. So, what do you got? What do you got for me, Jamie? She said she's gonna put me in a warehouse out there, and put me to work. I told her
You think it's hot here?
I was just gonna say I told her I'd melt in that warehouse.
Vegas
Michigan
is
boys
hot.
would melt in there. Except it's supposed to be 95 and like 100% humidity tomorrow.
It's
That should be
69 right now.
69.
69 degrees, and I did not win. I actually got a text from
Enzo.
Ronnie Mack, and it said, "I'm sorry, dude, you didn't win."
Aw. Well, at least he let you know.
Then he gave me a big old discount off his merch, and I told him, "Fuck you, Ronnie. I didn't need a shirt. I needed 2 strokes, man. Emma ain't gonna let me race with a shirt. I need a bike to race in the Emma race."
Spooky, can you hit the button that says not appropriate for children under the age?
Yeah,
of
we
18?
really need a control room.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
Show's
you're-
over. This is your after party live, guys.
Show's over. Hey, we are available everywhere you get podcasts, Sonny. You know, you can get us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those. Did you know that?
And we're also authors on Amazon that you can get us on there too for
That's
free.
Sonny's-
You guys better jump on that Amazon stuff before our author books go up to about $10 a pop when you're
That's
downloading
Sonny's
them.
favorite part is that it says he's an author on Amazon.
Me and my buddy Goodall, both authors on Amazon.
Today is Cryptid Tuesday. Taliwaba.
Oh, it is?
Yep, you must go there, folks. So
Yeah,
here's what
one
we got. Taliwaba, Cryptid Tuesday. Got a new host on that show. Bottle Water. Welcome. And then I have to mention that we got our boys coming up with the only, one and only, Jeremy Corbell this Thursday. It's important that you are there.
Especially the wrenches.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause we will
UFO
have-
Garage.
We will have no shit talk in the chat. UFO
Watch your mouth, Chad.
Garage.
It's okay if I cuss. You guys are
Oh,
supposed
sorry.
to be good guys.
Sorry. No beep talk in the chat.
We need one of those beepers. That would be kind of awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, the new tech
garage.
that I want has a bleep button. You know that? It's got a mute button, a bleep button. We can put buttons all over the place.
I seen you and Dom making fun of the way I talk too.
Yep. Did you see that?
I also say wash instead of wash.
Wash.
just sounds dumb.
We need to go wash
my
these
car,
clothes.
I wash my clothes.
That's an Ohio thing, I thought. Wash.
It's a Okie thing, Oklahoma thing.
Oh, boy. Bobby Ramos, thank you very much for the sub.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right. I guess we, what do you think,
Yeah.
Sonny?
No, you got to get some sleep, man.
Unfortunately, I'm still on midnights. Yeah, see, the way this is going to work next week, like, it's only noon right now, and I don't have to be to work till 2. So, this is going to work out perfect. I'll sleep all night, wake up, do the podcast, and then head out from here. So, I'll probably be a lot more awake when I do the podcast next week.
Huh. Well, we'll
This-
see. As long as you don't get tired at work, you can't be driving home sleeping in the snow.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to figure it out in the wintertime, but I think in the summer we'll be okay.
Jamie, my goodness.
Spooking complaint. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna read that
You
out
just
loud.
get on the center of the road, Chad, where the little reflectors are. And
Yeah.
just keep hitting those. Drive by Braille. That's how blind people get their license here in California.
Let me spreading that rumor. That's how you got your license?
If you can't see, yeah, you just ride the Braille lines.
Jeanette says that you and Spooky can take it from here. All right, guys.
All right. We
Well,
can.
All right, man. It's been a great time. Thank you so much for being here, everybody.
He's still here? Oh, he's gone.
Hey!
Now
what
we can talk
happened?
about him. This fucking guy acting like he's tired.
Hello.
Hey,
Don't be
he's
dipping.
back.
Don't be dipping.
You can't get rid of him.
Lee said, "See you later, Chad." Yeah, for anybody, I'll run it by one more time. We have a Buy Me a Coffee, guys. We got 2 different memberships.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who?
How is Jake a $15 member?
I don't know.
I don't get that. We don't even offer that. And then
Yeah.
Deanna's a $10 member here and Paranormal Chop Shop.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Deanna.
So is Pinzer. She's a member here and the Chop Shop.
Thank you,
Pretty
Pinzer.
awesome.
Yeah, there's 2 options, guys, on Buy Me a Coffee. It's they do a membership thing now too, just like Patreon. But for $5, we'll shout you out every month. Screw it, we'll shout you out every week. Give you a shout out every week. I'll send you a free sticker. Enzo, I'm still sending yours. I'm late for everything. The $10 a month gets you a free shout out a week, a sticker, and you get a private invite to a Chop Shop after party show that we do. So every Friday we have the Paranormal Chop Shop at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. We go for a couple hours usually, and then after that we have an after party. And if you are a $10 subscriber on here or on the Chop Shop, you get a private invitation to join us on those for those after parties. How'd I do? Is that a good
right.
commercial?
It is a good commercial.
Go to buymeacoffee.com/Chad Smith.
It's like an
PC.
after-hours comedy club party.
Yeah.
It is funny.
It's not recorded, and what happens in there stays in there.
That's right.
You know?
No spreading rumors.
That's right. No spreading
Chad
rumors.
gets naked, runs around, dancing
Whoa.
on Omegle. You can't be telling people.
Oh my God. All right. That's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to call it right there. So
I
Sunny,
didn't tell him you did it. I told him if you do it. I guess I told him now.
Williams says, I heard if you do $20 a month, Spooky will take off a shirt.
Yeah,
Really?
keep hoping, keep dreaming. It's going to be a little bit more than that to get that to happen.
I think that's Jamie just spreading rumors.
Exactly.
Jamie says, let's start a GoFundMe to get Chad on an airplane.
There's going to have to be a whole lot of manscaping before that happens.
Oh my God. Yeah, the Chatty Daddy undies, you can find those over at that One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens website. Apparently they have those in their merch store. So that's nice. That's nice. Can't wait to see those on social media. Aw, First Floor Audio, that's not true. I would probably more than likely make it to your after shows than the normal show. My time is sometimes I'm not available when your show starts, but your after parties, I'm sure I'd probably make it to those. You should do an after party. Try it out.
Lee's show on Saturday was awesome, man. We were all there, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, Lee has an awesome time over there.
Get that going right now.
And it's Saturday nights for us over here in the United States.
I'm gonna drop it.
This after party thing came up with was a good idea.
The Chop Shop one?
Whenever we just hang out like that, especially
Yeah.
after the shows.
Dude, I think Lee's would have a bunch of people show up, I think there's a handful of people that would like to be on there with Lee, but they're not sure, like they wouldn't want to bother him while he's doing his music. But I think if there was an after show or was a little bit more laid back and not live, I bet he'd get some people.
Yep.
to show up. Yep, there's First Floor Audio's YouTube channel. Go check it out. He produces some really good music over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guy's brilliant.
Where did this come from? Do you know who put this in here?
That was me.
Was it? I like that. It's cool. Parking only. All others will be abducted.
Oh,
Jake and Rodney.
that's too much cuteness for this
I might
show,
have put
man.
another one in there too. I don't know what I was sticking in there.
All of our friends. And the goat. I gotta say the goat.
Are you gonna have to highlight that right there?
What's that? Mindforked will be on every 2 weeks. The next episode starring Carl the Crusher and our own Spooky Morales.
Who's that?
Ooh.
Episode 1. Man.
We were just watching videos of Carl the Crusher, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
Yep. He's the new up-and-coming guy. You gotta check Carl the Crusher out. We're gonna help him out. We're gonna send some subs over to him.
Yeah, he needs
Yeah.
some subs, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs our help, guys.
I
I
think
saw
he's
some
only-
of his videos had millions of views. Millions. Like
That-
7, 8 million.
What?
That Carl the Crusher's
Yes.
trying to get something going over there on YouTube, so we need to give him all the help we can.
Yeah, he's trying really hard, guys. Let's give him some help over there on Carl the Crusher. I think he's
He
only
was
at like,
breaking the internet, so he had to make another.
He
And
put
he
a
had to make
call out-
another podcast
he
called
put a
Carl
call out to
Vibe.
the Chad Smith podcast and said, "Hey, we need help.
All
Yep.
right.
Get our subscribers up."
So Carl
Jamie.
Crusher, you must go here, folks.
Jamie, is this
Ooh.
going to be used in court?
Hey, I'm joking about it because he's got so many subscribers, but really, you would be thankful. I would be I'm thankful every time I get a subscriber.
Yeah. Oh, Carl. Yeah, he's humble. He would totally.
Yeah.
He would love it if we were talking about him. Send some people over there for sure. Anybody. That's the thing, is it just takes one person. You never know who's going to be watching your channel.
I mean, I'm excited to talk to Carl the Crusher, but I'm even most excited to be hanging out with Takashi Chris.
yeah, that's going to be a fun
This is
time.
unbelievable. We might break the internet out. I'm serious.
I might have to call in again just to watch it.
Pasky. I love
Rodney Posky.
that.
We just call him Posky. I don't think I've ever
Yeah, I
called
would
him
too.
Rodney.
I would totally just call him Posky. He needs, Posky.
Posky needs his own. Posky actually does stream on Twitch. He's a Twitch affiliate streamer, I believe.
Oh.
Posky, can you post your link? Are you a... I don't know if he's a mod in here. I can't tell from StreamYard. StreamYard. Now I hear it. Now I can hear my accent.
See?
Oh, he's a wrench. You should post your link, Posky, so people can subscribe to your Twitch. Kashi Chris says, Chad, are you providing the approval for Chad Undies on Toddy Wabba?
Yes.
All right, here's the official. Ready? Here we go. Judge, I, Chad Smith, give Jamie and Bree from that one time I was abducted by aliens permission to use my likeness on any of their merch. Any of their merch.
I hope they come out with some pads.
Kashi Chris says, Jamie, listen. Enzo says, oh no.
Oh,
Oh man, she says I'm doing it. That's it. I'm doing it. See, we should have. I told you. There needs to be a 2-hour limit for a reason.
yep,
See what happens when you go past 2 hours.
that's right.
Oh my god! I shouldn't have said that. You see this comment?
Oh,
All right. Well, I said what I was gonna say, so whatever you guys
Chad
make with
Smith
my face
butt
on it,
plug.
I guess
So
I have
here
to
we
just
go.
live with it.
If you want some of the hottest merch right now on the internet, you've got to go to that one time I was abducted by aliens store on their website, and here it is, right here, y'all.
Oh my god, Jamie.
I was
It's time
just
to get off
thinking
here.
about
I gotta get off here.
I think this is the wrong podcast for that kind of talk.
Yeah, I gotta get off here before we get sued. We're gonna get sued. Spooky, you're up on the top left. You're in charge right now.
In charge.
I'm gonna let you just end it.
Oh, she needs
Do
to
the
make
outro.
bras and sports bras with Chad's face on each boob. For the,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Sony.
Go ahead and run with that one, Jamie. See what you do with that.
This is all over now. It's all over. Yep.
Matching bra and panties. And
It's all over now, Terry Brown. Oh my god. All right, guys. We will see you on Thursday. Thursday we got
Chatty daddy titty holders.
Who even thinks of that kind of stuff?
Or maybe get a
What do we
shirt
have?
with Chad's arms just wrapped around in the picture.
Oh my god, I have to get off here.
Chad's back on the back of the shirt.
Jesus Christ. I gotta
Like
go.
a roach.
What did Roach say? Yeah, yeah. Guys, join us on Thursday. We're gonna have Jason Meadows on talking
That's what I said.
some paranormal stuff. What'd you
I
say?
said pads.
Yeah,
said
excellent.
tampons.
You guys are just full of great ideas today.
What's a
How about our bro
tampon?
Roach? Is he doing a show today? Tuesday, right?
Yeah, today's Tuesday. I believe he has an announcement out there on
Maybe
YouTube
like around
right now.
4 p.m. Pacific, something like that. 7
Pacific
p.m.
time.
Eastern, I think. Anyways, I dropped his link.
Okay,
Right on.
excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, go
Chad,
check
are
out
you-
Roach's channel. He's firing it up. He's got a new channel over there.
Are you
Check
trying
out.
to bounce now, Chad? Me and Spooky aren't
Oh,
leaving.
100%. I'm definitely trying to bounce.
We're gonna come up with some more merch ideas for you once you go.
Oh.
Yeah, he's scared to leave. He won't go.
I cannot wait to see what you guys come up
Pasky
with. You and Rodney Posky
are in charge.
in charge.
Rodney Paskey.
What's BCC? Oh, Bobby's Cryptid Corner.
Cryptid Corner. Man, one of the hottest shows on YouTube right now.
Bobby's Cryptid Corner, 6:30 Pacific. God, you guys got me screwed up now.
6:30 Pacific time.
I'm just gonna start
Over
saying
here by the
specific.
Pacific Ocean we swim in.
Yeah, the very specific ocean. The I Believe podcast is live at 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe. He's in Florida.
Ooh, the title of today's show is Werewolves.
Ooh. Excellent.
There wolves. Here wolves.
You know what I say to that? Woof.
Woof.
Oh.
All right.
There we go.
You guys done?
Bobby's
All
Cryptid
right.
Corner, y'all.
We're
Don't
waiting
miss
for you
it.
to leave so
If
we
you
can
miss
finish
it,
the
Jamie
show.
will haunt you in your dreams tonight and every night for the rest of your life.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Peace out.
It sound right, boys.